You may have noticed that trying to buy a Tesla these days has become a real exercise in patience. There's going to be a whole lot of waiting involved with nearly every Tesla purchase for the foreseeable future. All Teslas are sold out. But what's the deal with that? Is something wrong with Tesla, or is there something more? Why does the price keep going up, and whose fault is this? Is this the virus, Joe Biden, maybe China? Today we're going to try and get to the bottom of this and look at all of the factors at play in the great Tesla shortage of 2021. Okay, so we should preface this by saying it is only a couple of days into August 2021 right now, and if I want a fresh, crisp new Tesla Model Y long range in my driveway, I am currently looking at a delivery date of December. Holy shit. And if I want to be a baller and upgrade that to a Model X, now we're into February of next year. The stories for the rest of the lineup vary slightly, but it's mostly the same deal all around, with the exception of the performance cars, which we'll get into later. So that amount of waiting time is going to try anyone's patience. Just look at the UFC fighter from a couple of months back, who spent his entire post-fight interview yelling at Elon Musk to hurry up and deliver his car. Undeniably, that was funny as shit, but there are an increasing number of people in the same boat as he was. The first reassuring point that I want to make is that this is not a Tesla-specific problem. Tesla buyers might be getting the worst of the situation, but there is no smooth sailing to be found for any car buyer out there right now. If we pull back from our hyper-focus on Tesla, we quickly notice that the automotive industry as a whole in North America is just in shambles right now. Everywhere you look, people are buying up cars faster than they can be delivered. In a recent New York Times article titled "The Car Market is Insane," they spoke to the owner of 2 Chevrolet dealerships in Chicago who said, "The industry has had strikes and material shortages before that have left us short of inventory, but I've never seen anything like this." He went on to say that his dealerships normally have 600 to 700 cars in stock, but right now he has about 50. Once or twice a week, a truck arrives with just 5 or 10 new vehicles. According to New York Times reporting, auto industry executives said the last time demand and supply were this out of sync was most likely after the end of World War II, when U.S. auto plants returned to making cars after years of churning out tanks and planes. So while this whole situation is pretty unfortunate for literally everyone trying to buy any car right now, it's a positive sign to appreciate that this is not some failing on Tesla's part. They're basically keeping in step with the rest of the vehicle making industry. By the way, did you forget about our newsletter? Because we sure didn't. That's right, the Tesla Space has a newsletter where we send you all the latest updates on Tesla, SpaceX, Elon Musk, and Neuralink directly to your email. So if you'd like to subscribe, just go to theteslaspace.com and be sure to check your promotions tab and make sure our emails are moved over to your main inbox so you don't miss out. Basic economics will tell us that when supply is low and the demand is up, then the price will follow in that upwards direction, and that's what we've seen with Tesla prices so far this year. Much fuss has been made on repeated incremental bumps in the price of nearly every car that they sell. It's usually just $500 or $1,000 at a time, but it adds up. The Model Y long-range price jumped up $4,000 in just a few months. Now, this might look bad for Tesla at first glance, but again, when we dive a bit deeper, we can see that this is a problem that is affecting vehicles across the spectrum. So one of the really nice things about buying a Tesla has always been the online ordering system. Everybody pays the same price because you're just filling out an online form. No one can haggle for a lower price or get a special deal, and no one can pay extra to get what they want faster than anyone else. On the Tesla configurator, we are all equals. Contrast that with the typical experience at a car dealership where the manufacturer's suggested retail price is just that, a suggestion. And you're basically expected to go to war with a salesperson to avoid getting ripped off and come home with a good deal. But those days are gone right now. Not only has the MSRP of new vehicles gone up by around 5% this year, but negotiating the price down is now completely out of the picture. Dealers are basically free right now to set their own prices based on supply and demand. Buyers are actually paying thousands of dollars over asking price for high demand vehicles. If you think the 8% price increase on a Model Y is rough, the average selling price of a used car in America is up a whopping 45% year over year. And while we're on the subject of economics, let's come back to the dilemma of trying to get a Tesla vehicle as soon as possible. I might be waiting until Christmas for a Model Y long range, but I can still get a Model Y Performance before autumn. What's the deal with that? Well, it's something that Tesla has always done. They prioritize the delivery of their highest margin products. That's why the Plaid Cybertruck is going to be available a full year before the single motor version. It's why the Model S Plaid can be delivered in just a few weeks, while the long range is pushed back to next spring. I've even heard that Tesla will prioritize delivery on cars that bought the upgraded wheel package over the standard wheels, like the only Model S long-range cars that have been delivered this year have been the ones that bought the 21-inch wheels. And that's economics in action. It might not be fair, but it's a fact of life. Okay, so we know that your prospects for buying a new car right now are pretty bleak, but why is this happening? Who's responsible? Well, it's complicated. We know that the global chip shortage has been hanging over the head of pretty much every manufacturer making any kind of technology in 2021, but automakers have arguably been hit the hardest by the situation. Basically, what happened in the spring of 2020 was all vehicle manufacturing plants shut down, and people stopped going anywhere or doing anything outside of their house. That led to zero demand for chips in the automotive sector and epic demand for chips in the video game industry. Then, once everyone realized that the world wasn't going to end, they wanted to go back out and do things and buy cars again. But the automakers had stopped getting their microchips delivered, and they found that their suppliers were already overrun by orders from Sony and Nintendo. This has led to Ford having to hold thousands of trucks in parking lots just waiting to be finished. GM actually started removing electronic features from their cars just to get them out the door and into dealerships. Some makers have even had to switch from digital speedometers back to analog dials just to get the cars finished. Tesla have not been entirely safe from this same problem, but they have been doing better than most. As you know, Tesla doesn't have the feature option to switch out a speedometer or remove an electronic feature. The entire car is digital, and they have a significantly higher demand for chips than any competitor. So this microchip problem would have honestly sunk the entire company if they hadn't come to a solution very quickly. If Tesla had just run out of chips like others, there would have been zero cars getting delivered. But instead, they broke their quarterly production record yet again in Q2 this year. So Tesla has responded incredibly well to the global semiconductor shortage, and the reason for that is its unparalleled ability to react quickly and mitigate disruptions to manufacturing. More specifically, the company has switched to new microcontrollers to avoid many of the shortages affecting the industry. So here's how Tesla explained the workaround in the Q2 2021 earnings update letter. Our team has demonstrated an unparalleled ability to react quickly and mitigate disruptions to manufacturing caused by semiconductor shortages. Our electrical and firmware engineering teams remain hard at work designing, developing, and validating 19 new variants of controllers in response to ongoing semiconductor shortages. So if the supply end of things is actually working out pretty well for Tesla, then why are we still so delayed? Well, we've got to talk about demand, because that's also out of balance right now. Not only is the overall supply of vehicles at an all-time low, the demand for vehicles is going back up. The Wall Street Journal reports that new car sales in the first half of 2021 in the US should total about 8.3 million cars, which would be more or less a return to the same buying numbers that were happening before all of this virus shit happened. Just staying focused on North America right now, this can be chalked up to a strong economic recovery, low interest rates, high savings, and government stimulus payments in 2021. Even though the unemployment rate is still higher than before the pandemic, many people have money to spend. Government payments have helped for sure, but many Americans who were kept from doing expensive activities like vacationing or eating out for over a year ended up saving a lot of money. So, circling back to our first point, the fact that all Teslas are sold out may be annoying for those trying to put one in their driveway right now, but it's not a bad sign at all. This is a good problem for Tesla to have. It's like when you see a food truck with a big ass lineup that is sold out by 1 p.m., you think, that food must be dope. I should try and get some next time. We've seen that Tesla is rolling with the economic punches. They're fighting their way through the most dire supply chain problems since World War II, problems that could have devastated their company much worse than the competition and left them in ruin if not for quick thinking and problem solving. The second bit of good news is that people who have money to spend are currently very willing to spend it on disruptive, forward-thinking companies like Tesla. We know that Tesla can build a lot of cars. Their quarterly results prove that. So if they're still so hard to get, that means that people are buying them, a lot of people. And I don't know if it's just the GTA effect, but I seem to be seeing Model 3s all over my city now, and I can tell you when I first got mine, that was not the case. But let us know in the comment section below if you're one of the many who are stuck in a long lineup for a new Tesla and how you're feeling about it, or if the extended wait times are affecting your buying decisions right now. Also, don't forget to go to theteslaspace.com to subscribe to our weekly newsletter and check out our sister channel, The Space Race, for more space-related content. If you want to continue to learn about everything regarding Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, we've got 2 more video options for you on the screen to check out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for weekly content just like this.